Good morning, it's 8:30 a.m. and we are here for a Central Services update with Tom Gaines.
Well, good morning, Commissioners. So I'll start with the fairgrounds. I didn't even look at the schedule yet this week, so I don't think we have anything on consent. We might, but I haven't looked, so I'll follow up after this. I'm waiting to get a contract from Perkins and Coie for our general contractor on the coroner's office. If I get that before consent tomorrow, it'll be a walk-on so that we can get moving on that. And I'll talk more about the coroner's office in a moment. For the fairgrounds, nothing significant to report. I'm still getting caught up from being off a couple of days. I did talk to Chris this morning, and everything's good. You know, they had 100 or so horses there this weekend, and they're still cleaning up from the fair, but they've got 3 busy weeks coming up. They've got this week they're going to have about 500 horses on the grounds, then a week off, and then they're going to have the Arabians come in with a few hundred horses, and then the week of the 20th. They're going to have another 600 or 700 horses. So they're right back into it. They're just cruising along. But other than that, no big issues. The coroner's office, we did select Lighted Construction as the GCCM that will build the new coroner's office. To recap that whole process, we had 6 companies submit proposals that we scored. Bell Sass Construction, Boughton Construction, Cascade Central Construction, who's doing the HR building, Howard S. Wright Construction, Leidig, and Swinnerton Construction. After the proposal phase and we'd scored them, we had 3 leaders. We did not move Bell Sass or Howard S. Wright forward to the interview phase. So the interview phase only had Boughton, Leidig, and Swinnerton. But after that, we did not invite Boughton to put in a bid proposal for the final phase, which was the percentage fee they're going to charge for the job and what their specified general conditions cost is going to be. So Leidig their fee was at 5.37%, which is pretty close to what they are on the jail, and their general conditions cost was $174,000. Swinnerton was at a lower fee at 3.94%, but their general conditions cost was $283,800. Once you put all the numbers together and figure out, who's low, Leidig ended up being $45,450 lower than Swinnerton. So it was a really close competition, but Leidig did competitively win. So that's why we ended up selecting them. And we're waiting on the contract. So as soon as I get that contract, provided I get it before consent tomorrow, it'll end up being a walk-on.
What's your estimated construction cost?
We don't have that yet. We're still looking at somewhere between $4 and $7 million. So that's what we're hoping for. And I'm getting an updated design this week that includes some items that we talked with Craig about. And then we're gonna start working on a schedule. And I'm gonna try and get Craig to commit to 1 day a week where he can be in the meetings each week and have kind of a direct report to the architect, so that I'm not being the middleman for some of the things the architect's asking about.
How do you calculate overall cost for the construction if it's on percentage? Because if you went by percentage, then Swinnerton or whatever would be less.
They would be less. They're just saying that's the percent fee they're going to charge for whatever the cost is. They base that on the budget we give them. So if we tell them it's going to be between 4 and 7 million, then they're basing it on that. Now, yeah, the problem.
That's where I get confused on how they would have been more.
Well, so because the general conditions cost, so you have the fee for whatever, when we go to GMP and they say, okay, this is the, for instance, when Leidig presented the guaranteed maximum proposal on the jail at 123 million, that they were going to make the 5% of that fee, whatever that was. We don't know what it's going to be until we accept a GMP and we value engineer everything. So that's just what their fee was. So they can kind of do whatever they want with their fee. They're just basically telling us, like in this case, Swinnerton was saying, we're going to cut our fee and go super cheap in hopes of kind of buying the job, is kind of what that was. But the general conditions cost, what's the cost to man that job, keep people on it, administer the job, and do everything it takes to do what Leidig's doing on the job now? Well, Leidig was $174,000 because the people they're going to use live here in Moses Lake. Swinnerton's got people traveling here, and all of those costs are included. So Swinnerton's general conditions cost was $283,800 to do the same job that Leidig is going to do for $174,000. So there's about a $65,000 difference there. I don't have all the numbers right in front of me, but when you add those numbers up and you look at, okay, what the total cost to manage the job was, Leidig ended up being about 45,000 less, 45,450. I can send it to you. I can send it.
No, I mean, I can see that, but then you look at the percentage, I was kind of curious, on 5 million, percent and a half.
Well, and the other problem with that percent is, so we did have a subcontractor on the jail, give us a percentage, not Leidig, a different one. And they went low like this, and then they came back and asked for change orders after the fact, which we denied.
Yeah.
And they've been struggling. So we don't want to be in that situation either. And this is, again, a qualifications-based proposal, as much as it is a dollars proposal. So we just really felt like the qualifications we had that we're getting from Leidig and the quality that we're going to get from Leidig was going to be higher. So
I would agree.
Yeah. The jail is still cruising. The big issue now is to complete the wrap. We start paving today, and if everything goes to plan and they can get down 8,300 yards of pavement a day, there is a chance that we would open it Tuesday morning. So this would eliminate a lot of the school issues altogether. Friday, I will be here to do a walkthrough with the Washington State Department of Transportation and Leidig to look at it, make sure it's, the DOT has got to give the final kind of, yes, you can, but I know that they're going to try and get it paved and striped this week, so, and possibly into the weekend. We'll see what happens. Next Wednesday, I might take off a little bit early around noon or after the daily job site meetings at the jail. So Dan Sanders, who is the superintendent for the project, works for Leidig. He's spent over 30 years in the trades, about 25 of it with Leidig, and he's retiring. That's going to be his last day. So he's also an avid golfer. We've golfed together a few times. I've gotten to know him. And we're losing a heck of a superintendent, but I think we're going to try and set something up for Wednesday afternoon where they have kind of a bunch of guys get together and go out to the links and play golf. Just kind of a send off. So trying to get some of our vendors to sponsor it. We'll see. That's what we're hoping to do. So, but we might do that. I'll keep you up to date. You guys are welcome to go out there and yell at us or something if we do it. So. John Hampshire, who is another stellar superintendent, has taken his place. He's been there since day one, and he's also going to serve as the assistant superintendent on the coroner's office. So it's going to be good. I received an email from Missy today stating that her staff needed to go up and create the parcel numbers up there, presumably regarding the completed short plat. And I let her know that she can go up there anytime. I mean, this is official business. She got to go up there, and I'll let Dan know. She responded and said she's going to try and schedule something next week. So I'm supposed to take Dell and some of his employees on a tour today. I haven't heard from him. I think he's in here today, isn't he? I think at like 10:30 or 10:45.
Yeah, 10:30.
10:30, yeah. So he might bring some staff with him if we're going to go on a tour. I'm not sure. So the CS and HR building, carpet and LVT is in. There was a mix-up on the flooring. The contractor placed LVT, kind of like the stuff we have in the hallway, into a room that was supposed to be carpeted, but it doesn't look bad. So before I make them rip that out and put carpet down, I'm going to have Decorah look at it. It's not her. It's kind of the outside office space. It's a breakout room. It's not necessarily an office. It can be in the future, but right now it's a small meeting room, and it's a place for them to do negotiations when they have to move apart from each other. And I can see where the flooring guy made a mistake. It was an easy mistake to make, but so we may or may not change it. But I'm gonna have, when we're done with the meeting today, I'm gonna go over there with Decorah. I received an email from Curtis at Wasatch regarding a Wasatch grant we were supposed to receive regarding the Clean Buildings Act. It was one of 2 grants that we got for all of the work that our custom energy consultants did. He's asking if we ever executed it, which I'm sure that we did, because I'd sent them the paperwork saying, hey, I need an A19 so we can get reimbursed. So he sent me the email back going, did we ever execute that? And I'm like, I think we did. But we can still, if for some reason it didn't get executed, we can still get it executed and then, get the A19 in and get money back. So I'll be following that up this week, continuing the conversation on federal grants this week with Merchant McIntyre. And with that, I'd like to go into an executive session about personnel matters. If I can. We'll go 5 minutes and then we'll come out and then we'll go back in for another one.
Discipline or just evaluation?
Evaluation, discipline. Well, discipline. Discipline.
Okay. We're going to go into executive session from 8:41, coming out at 8:46 for personnel disciplinary matters, RCW 42.30.1101F.
I'll keep talking about this.
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
For this latest iteration of the course, they changed it up. It went from 12 weeks to 10 weeks, and they changed some of the content, which now I'm curious about the content on this course. So I think I want to talk to NACO about that and possibly enroll in that course, Cindy, so that I can kind of compare the two and go from there.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Tom.
And with that, I'd like to go into a different executive session about a real estate transaction.
How long?
5 minutes.
Okay. Sale or acquisition?
Sale.
Okay. We'll be going into executive session from 8:47 until 8:53 for real estate sale RCW 42.30.1101C. It's going to be worth more.
Okay. No, we'll wait. Yeah. All right. So we'll have another executive session when that time comes. So outside of that is the end of my update. Unless you all have any questions.
No questions for me. Any questions, Cindy?
No, I have no questions. Thank you, Tom.
Okay, thank you, Cindy.
Thanks, Tom. We'll go into recess until 9 a.m. when we're back with development services.
Burial ground. My recommendation to you is 30 meters. So that's what we went forward with. That's what the design went forward with. We took it to hearing with the conditional use permit hearing at 30 meters. And we went to SEPA at 30 meters, and that's where it sits today. When we issued SEPA, we uploaded notice to the SEPA register, and we issued notice to the paper, to the local paper. There is statute that says you're supposed to also notify agencies with standing. And that's where we potentially fell short in notifying the agencies with standing, specifically Colville. Okay, so Colville is laying claim right now that they weren't properly notified. And they have now taken issue with the buffer. So we had an opportunity to go out there in June once they were gained permission from the landowner, the Seavercrups specifically, and went out there in June to validate what they assumed to be a Native American burial ground. Of course, there's not been excavation or anything of the sort, but they've seen enough of these to know that likely that's what it is. But they still have concerns over the buffer that we're trying to work through right now. Challenge is that you'll see on page 2 And this page 2 is the overall site layout, and I've highlighted for the both of you.
That's the big one.
Yeah, the overall layout I've highlighted in orange so that it's easy for you to see. That's the large 12-acre avoidance area, and the orange is the 30-meter buffer. The gray, those are the arrays, and this is at 100% design. This is in fact the permit drawings that have been submitted to my department that are under review right now. The applicant is wishing to obtain the permit and begins construction at the end of next month. Yeah, we're still in August. Yeah, end of next month. And to modify the buffer would require a complete redesign, and which would be, of course, costly. And they are what they call site constrained, in that you just can't, start lopping off, so to speak, well, you can, I suppose, but there's no shifting that can occur because, you're up against a hillside that doesn't allow for solar arrays. You're up against a ravine. So any expansion of the buffer would cause a reduction in the megawatt output, which would be damaging to the developer. Now, on page 2, I have indicated, so I've done some dimensioning to illustrate that in fact, really the buffer is closer to over 40 meters once you take the 30-meter buffer into consideration, and then also take into consideration what they're actually proposing to construct. It's more of a 40-meter buffer. Now, what I've highlighted on page 2 or page 3, excuse me, in orange is another avoidance area where there's also some stack rock features that, unfortunately, last October, when the contractor PCL was doing exploratory pilings to see how they were going to construct the facility pre-engineering, they drove pilings into that avoidance area, and that's how Colville was notified and alerted, and what caused them to ask the question, hey, what's the status of this project? Because last we heard, we were still negotiating and having discussions over, what this area is, which at that point is when we notified them that we had issued conditional use permit in SEPA. And unfortunately, my planner didn't make me aware that these conversations were happening until the following March of this year. So
has anybody from the Caldwell tribe been up there?
Been up here?
To actually visit the site?
Oh yes, yeah. I was there with them, with a large number of them actually. So myself, Dr. Karen Caputer, John Cirrus, Michelle Cirrus, from the plant team. John Cirrus is with, he's the head, the Tribal Historic Preservation Officer. Their archaeologist, the Silicon Ranch's archaeologist, the original archaeologist. Let's see, Robert Sloma, the tribal archivist.
So what kind of a buffer are they wanting?
Well, that's just it. So I went up to Nispelum last Thursday and spoke to their tribal business council. So Dr. Caputer put me on the agenda, and I went up there and spoke to them. Well, she spoke to them, made a presentation about this, and in hopes to come back to them with a recommendation for an additional buffer. That has yet to occur. I went up there just to talk to them about how, if the developer were to agree to additional buffering, what that agreement would look like, how they could be bound into an agreement. Because next steps are, next month, we are going to put in front of the board a developer agreement that binds the developer and the landowner and the county to mitigation for shrub step disturbance and decommissioning and restoration that we've been talking about, for what seems like forever. We could also then include any type of mitigation that the Colvilles might be looking for to rectify the situation. However, the developer doesn't have to agree to any of it. They could say no, thank you, because they have an approved conditional use permit. However, the SEPA document says that they agree to continual negotiations with the Colvilles over this situation. That we put that in the SEPA document on purpose because they went silent, and all we had was these assurances from DAP, and we wanted to make sure that for this very reason that this was going to get worked out. And then the last bit of it is that there has to be tribal monitoring that has to occur throughout the course of construction, and that monitoring plan is at the feet of Colville right now for review, and they're holding up on that review until this is resolved. So I can't issue a permit or actually enter into a developer agreement until the Colvilles have agreed on the monitoring plan, the inadvertent discovery plan, which basically is as they proceed and do work, that there's somebody there watching to make sure that that they're not disturbing just this.
Do they scan the ground, or do they dig up any, or they just say, hey, the rocks are like this, so?
Yeah, they can. They can. I mean, they have. When I was in the field, I was asking the same questions, and Dr. Caputer said that there's two ways that they can do it. They can scan. They don't, and they also have cadaver dogs that can do it. They've just seen so many that they just that they know that.
And do they do anything in these sites?
They don't. So the developer has offered a couple of things, and they don't. Every tribe is different, So they initially had offered protection, by fence, and they're not interested in protection and placards. They don't, of course, want any identification, any placards, any fencing. They don't want anybody to know that this exists. And then they offered access, and they could maybe be interested in access, and possibly for some future plantings, so for some future native planting. So that could be part of the mitigation that's being discussed. And then there also could be some offsite mitigation as well. But and it's difficult because, and I need to step away from it. I've been very active in trying to be that conduit, because we have to have government to government negotiations, so to speak. Not necessarily negotiations, but communication. And now last week I think is kind of the breaking point for me, in that I went up there, represented the county, took ownership to a certain extent that we had a communication breakdown, but since then we have an outstanding working relationship with Colville, and need to continue to maintain that relationship. And we have worked out processes in our applications going forward that this would never, of course, ever happen again. But I'm not in a position or have authorization to now start negotiating, any modifications to buffers, because it's not my place, and quite honestly, they don't have to agree to any of it. Now, when we have the public hearing for the developer agreement, that's a land use action that can be appealed. So if we approve the developer agreement, and Colville does not like or is satisfied with the buffering as it is currently, they can definitely appeal that decision, and then it's a different discussion, of course, at that point.
So what would happen if they had cadaver dogs up there and they found nothing?
It would
Scanned and they found nothing.
Yeah, that would be, I think that would be a result of, that probably would be in that discussion of should they, again, should the board approve the developer agreement? So let's say the developer agrees to nothing and we move forward as is. We are going to have that public hearing and take that developer agreement to that public hearing for mitigation for shrub step and for decommissioning and restoration based off of the issued conditional use permit. The conditional use permits in the state of Washington are binding and have heavy standing. So, but again, that developer agreement could be appealed, okay? So let's say they're successful in the appeal. It's a LUPA. They have to go straight to Superior Court. So let's say they're successful in that appeal. Then now we're in litigation, and it would be at that point that I would assume, I'm not an attorney, of course, but I would assume that then it's verify that this is in fact what it is. Because at this point, it's just, again, like I said earlier, we just agree that it's something, so let's snap a border around it, let's buffer it and stay away from it, which the developer has done. Let's agree to, it's something, so let's just stay away from it for now. But we're not going to make it bigger just because.
Yeah, it just seems like they should have to prove that it's actually what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
They're taking ground of somebody else's that with no proof other than they walked it and they said it is.
Yeah.
Not to say that they're
No,
don't know what they're talking about, but I think they need to prove it.
Right. No, I don't necessarily disagree with that line of thinking. I think that that would come later. It is.
Yeah, it'd just be nice to not have to go to litigation to have that happen.
And that's what we're trying to do, right? That's exactly what we're trying to do, and hoping to not have happen is hopefully this is everybody, cooler heads prevail, and everybody is satisfied with the way that it is now, which and these are I took these documents up to Nispelem and handed them off to the tribes as well, and in an attempt to show them that, not only are we at 30, but we're 30 and beyond. So, and with adequate monitoring during construction, it's it's the best that's gonna happen. You'll see in the site inventory form that red line is a 2-track road that's been driving through forever.
Right.
So not awesome. It's been lots of sleepless nights for me since March, but definitely we can definitely shore up some processes so that this doesn't happen again. And one of the many things that Michelle's going to help me with, so I'm excited about that. But I'm looking forward to putting this one behind me.
It'll work out.
Yeah, I think so too. But just wanted to give the board that now that I have actual good, better intel. It was a great meeting up there. The members of the board have invited any one of you up. I would encourage any one of you to go. I'd be happy to go up there with you. They were very complimentary and thankful that I was there. I had a great time. It was 17 people in a U-shaped dais. It was kind of intimidating, but the building's impressive. I don't know if you've seen the government center or been inside the government center.
I haven't been in, I've seen it.
It's impressive. Yeah, it's really quite something. They're definitely one of the more sophisticated, I guess, on this side of the mountains. So, yeah, it was good. I think it went a long way. So, I know Cindy had a question. This stupid Airbnb on off of West Shore. We have a meeting with the prosecuting attorney and with the sheriff's office tomorrow to hand over this particular Airbnb file to them so that they can begin code enforcing it.
Yeah, and I had a question. Even if it's a relative, I would think that they would still have to be in compliance, whether they are a
Yeah.
hired guest or a relative.
Yeah, no, they have to be in compliance. Yeah. Yep, they have to be in compliance. So I'm just trying to put it on the sheriff's radar so that I'm literally handing all of the requirements and the conditional use permit to the sheriff's office and to the prosecuting attorney tomorrow so that they can start the enforcement process. And I've just asked, the homeowners across the street to continue to document. So I don't know if she copied you on the emails, but I numerous emails again this weekend, and photographs and all the things. So I would love it if the sheriffs would just park out front on a Friday during check-in and just remind everybody that it's, all the vehicles have to stay in the driveway, no overflow parking on Edwards. And he needs to produce, a property manager that can show up within 30 minutes, and he hasn't done that yet. So, but I'll have, hoping to have Barbara Dubrick send him a letter to that effect. So that's what we have that meeting tomorrow at 1:00.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it, and I know the neighbors certainly appreciate it. So thank you for your due diligence on this.
Yeah, you betcha. We'll put some pressure on them. Okay.
Yeah, it's been funny because there's a post going around in Cascade Valley about the same problem.
Yeah.
But they all thought it was a transient home.
Right, that's what you're saying. It's like, we've got it down in Sunland too. I mean, that gal's, they think that we're not going to enforce, and that's not necessarily the case. We just need to. Our software vendor keeps putting us off and putting us off. It's supposed to be this month that we're going to be online to be able to see these things again, so that the fire marshal's office can start knocking on doors. But the actual enforcement, like in cases like this with Edwards Drive, is with the sheriff's office, which we need to.
Yeah, we have to be partners here. We need to help their assistance.
Right. Yeah.
And
So
maybe we need another code enforcement officer.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's a lot more going on in the county than we realize, and it's a big county. I mean.
Right.
And they're only on for 8 hours a day. Right.
And I ran into one of them fueling up to go to Nispel on Thursday, and it was his Friday. So I don't know what the coverage is, into the weekend. And like to your point, there's only two of them. And we haven't met. I mean, we used to meet. We being development services and the PA's office and code enforcement. We used to meet monthly. And then that fell by the wayside. So when we meet tomorrow, I'm going to see what the appetite is to reconvene that meeting, because it's really helpful for us to understand and for them to understand too, kind of what's active, what's happening, because I have no idea, what they're working on. I mean, we get emails all the time. I mean, Caitlin just received another email, a gentleman wanting a call back down in Mattawa over that septic business. So I email Officer Entrup, and because this gentleman caller thinks that nothing's happening and code enforcement's worthless. Well, it's in the court system right now, and I knew it had to have been, because Frank's been writing violations. So, but what's going to happen to it? I've no idea. But we've been not been kept in the loop because we haven't been having those meetings.
If we have ordinances that don't allow it, and there's laws that are being broken, we need to follow through with it.
Right.
All right, we will go on recess until 9:30.
Thanks, everybody.
Sure. Good morning, it's 9:30 a.m. and we are here for a Commissioner's Office update, and we have Caitlin with us.
Hello. So I know Barb sent you the pending decision spreadsheet for your work session later today. I don't think there's been any changes on it. You have 3 public hearings tomorrow. You have a public works, they're all public works. You have a surplus of county-owned vehicles, vacation of unbuilt Old County Road, and an ordinance amending Grant County Code, Chapter 11.04 for speed limits. Do you have any questions about any of those?
No.
Do you have any questions about any of the meetings scheduled this week?
The homeless one today, is it just see where they're at?
Yep.
Okay.
They'll probably be sharing the same information that they'll be sharing at the Homeless Housing Task Force meeting this week.
And Tony will run that, I can just listen in?
Yep.
Cool.
For calendar invitations, I've got the Wilson Creek Harvest Fest, which Kevin had said that he would be attending since that was in his district. Did either of the other commissioners plan on attending? Did you want it on your calendar? Yes.
What day?
It's a Saturday, September 27th. This Saturday. Not this Saturday.
Yeah,
It's
it's in a
August.
month.
Sorry. September.
I don't know.
Okay.
I probably won't be able to.
And there's also a South Grant County candidate event. It'll be on the 28th of this month, so this week at 6 p.m. at the Wahluke High School Theater. Did any of you guys plan on attending that? Cindy, I know it's in your district.
Probably will not make it, like 100% will not.
That just for,
Go forward and
and
stuff,
school
probably.
board, city council,
I think the invitation was open to anybody that was,
anybody that wanted to come.
yes, anybody that was,
There's no county spots open though, no state spots, so.
no, but since the commissioners are part of the South Grant County Chamber of Commerce.
date is
that was- It's the 28th
Of
of August,
Oh,
this week,
August? Yeah,
at
no.
6 p.m.
What day?
Thursday, the 28th, it's this week at 6 p.m.
28th, no way.
I would say if I'm feeling better, depending on how I feel on Thursday, after getting those shots, I may try to go down there.
The only
I don't
other
even know what
thing
time
I
I'll be there.
had, whoops, sorry.
I was just talking to myself.
Oh, okay. The only other thing I had was for the boards and committees update, the Homeless Housing Task Force recording fee recommendation process. I did not get a solid answer from the commissioners about how you guys wanted that to go this year. I did look in the RCW, Cindy, with Carrie a little bit, and we did not find anything in the RCW saying that the Homeless Housing Task Force had to make a recommendation. So do the commissioners want to keep doing it the way that you've been doing it? Or do you want the task force to make a recommendation for the distribution?
No, I think our office can make that recommendation. I appreciate the Carrie, the work that she puts in so that we know what category the funds are allotted to.
I'm okay with that.
I will let Carrie and Tony know. That is really all that I had. Just a reminder for Rob and Cindy, I told Kevin this morning, I'll be out of the office today at 3:30 for the rest of the day for doctor's appointment. But I'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry. Tony will be here soon for a vet services update. He might be online now, I'm not sure. Did you guys have any questions or anything that you wanted to talk about?
I would like to talk about something in executive session.
With me
Like
here or
5 minutes.
without you? With me here, without me here?
Which category?
Probably employee,
Evaluation or discipline?
probably evaluation.
Okay, and do you want Caitlin or?
It doesn't matter to me.
Yes.
Okay.
5 minutes?
Yeah, that's probably enough.
All right, we'll be going into executive session beginning at 9:36, coming out at 9:42 for job applicant / evaluation, RCW 42.30.1101G. How long do you want? I left her in there.
Yeah, probably another 5 minutes.
We'll go into executive session, an additional 5 minutes, returning at 9:48 a.m. It is 9:48. We are out of executive session.
It should be the Veteran Services update next. Can you see is Tony online?
I'm looking. I see a Tony, and I'm going to allow him to talk.
There
Tony,
he
you
is.
should be able to unmute yourself now for your update.
Gonna go upstairs. Thank you.
Thank you. See ya.
Perfect. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. So just a quick update from us. This month has been going great for Trevor. We've got him definitely used to the Veterans Assistance Fund, the policies, and what to look for veterans coming in. So definitely confident in him that he can pull all that information if I'm not in the office, and then just for me to review it. Trevor also left last week for Wednesday and Thursday for training down in Yakima with the Washington Department of Veterans Affairs. Just a quick insight of what he's going to be training in the next couple of weeks to become a veteran service officer. Definitely a good good conference for him. Talked to him a little bit about it. Once he came back, he definitely enjoyed it. He definitely seen that there's a lot out there than just what we do here, and that's what I've been trying to tell him, that we're definitely going to see what we can do to pull different resources, whether it's the from state to national level down to the county, see what we can do to provide more for veterans in our area. Quick update about me. I plan on taking leave from the 16th through the 26th of September. My wife, as many know, is pregnant. That is our due date. Everything's set up for her to go in and deliver on the 16th of September. So I'll be out of the office those 2 weeks. I'm setting it up to where in those 2 weeks Trevor will be here, but he will be training to become a VSO during that time frame. So he'll be taking classes while he's here. This way, there's something that he's doing productive, and I'll be checking in on him as well. Other than that, I have no other updates at this time.
Okay, Anthony. Well, while you're gone during that time, I might pop in and just check on him as well.
Perfect. Yes. I've also let him know that if he has any questions at all, to reach out to the commissioner's office to get any answers. And I also let him know, Kevin, that if he has any questions directly related to you, or anything that if he needs an additional presence in the office because something happened, I'd let him know to reach out to you as well.
Okay. Yeah. He can call me anytime on my cell phone.
Okay, Tony, and good luck with everything with your wife. Pretty exciting.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much. All right, you guys have a nice day. I'll talk to you guys later.
Tony, see ya. We'll go
Thank you,
in
Tony.
until 10 a.m. when we are back for accounting update. Good morning. It is 10 a.m. and we are here for an accounting update with Amanda Kim.
Good morning. Been busy doing Tyler end user training. I guess I'll start with probably the most significant. Felicity has given her 2 weeks notice and will be moving on to bigger and better things.
What's her last day?
September 2nd, the Tuesday after Memorial Weekend.
So next Tuesday.
We already have the job posted. We've got a couple applicants in that look promising. So we are going to try to expedite that process so we can get that position filled as quickly as possible. For the accountant position, we were just waiting on reference checks to make the formal offer to our candidate. And we have gotten those back. And hopefully today we'll make that official offer to her. And hopefully she accepts and we'll be able to start within 2 weeks. Mostly it's been a lot of Tyler end user training, keeping things flowing. Aww. So nice to meet you. Rob didn't know who Walter Cronkite is.
He didn't? That's because he's younger.
I knew.
Well,
I know I'm younger than him. Anyway, I updated them on our new staffing changes.
Walter Cronkite.
No,
Oh.
them. I updated them. That's you walked in just after that.
Oh, no, but I did want to talk to them about since Felicity's leaving, that we're going to have to push our go live date out on HRM because we just don't have enough staff to try to get it done timely by.
Is that gonna have additional expense?
It's gonna change, it will probably change both of them a little bit. I think we still have some hours that we can book on the Tyler side, but as soon as Holly figures out her issue, I think Holly will be the one who will be extended because she's kind of through that first phase on KOA side. So she's gonna look at her change amount and then let me know. So I should know by Tuesday, I think, tomorrow, that whether one, she's available and what the impact might be. But I emailed her this morning and told her, because she was talking April 1st or July 1st, because we want to go on a quarter, that I feel like July 1st is probably the best time for us to shoot for. So that will extend it out till that period of time, but I just don't think we have any other options.
Are we even over budget yet? Even with
I
the
don't
other,
know. I don't think so.
you having
No,
extended
because
ones?
when we're not using Eames.
Oh, drops to features.
And so we've paid for that. So I don't know how that comes into play yet until they do all of the checks.
With the Tyler end user training so far, I have met with WSU, Public Health Department, New Hope, and I did Tina individually because she had some other things. And this week, am scheduled to meet with HR, BOC, Veteran Services, Renew, and Public Works. So we're making great headway on the training. So far, after sitting down with people one-on-one and walking them through them, they're feeling much more comfortable with the AP process and what that's going to look like in Tyler. We haven't yet scheduled what we're going to be doing for you guys individually, but we'll hopefully get those on the books. I plan to have the budget call out by the end of this week. And we are going to have a schedule to Caitlin, hopefully by the end of the week as well, for how we want the hearings to go from November. They have some dates. I don't remember the starting date, but the ending date, the last day was November 10th, right?
I think so.
It was the first week of November. So it would have been November 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then the second week, 10th, 12th. We're closed on the 11th. So we're just looking to get those scheduled to know how many days of the week we'll need the commissioners in, since there's holidays and there's conferences and the lead summit. So
Yes, hoping to have that scheduled to her before the end of this week too. We do plan to do it strict times. Your department is this time, but keep them a little shorter unless we know for a fact that it's a more complicated department or budgeting session. And then if we end early and we come back for the next scheduled time. Hoping to have the July monthly reports done by tomorrow. I'm not promising, but I have started to do those, so hopefully I'll be able to get those done before tomorrow. That's all I have.
That's right, mine is just the new go live. And it hasn't been confirmed, but I did tell her I felt July 1st was gonna be the next best date to make sure everything is running perfectly for the payroll part.
What was your original go live date?
It was January 1st.
Well, no, original. Was it always
That's
January 1st? Were we
Uh,
October?
It might have been October, like a year ago.
2024.
No, 25.
25?
Because we were
Have
supposed
we
to
even
go
got
live.
October 2024?
Yes, no, because we were supposed to go live April 1st. And then originally, I think they were going to go live in October? No.
I think
I
it was
don't think
January 1st, 2025 is when we're supposed to go live.
Yes.
And when in October, we pushed it back to what? October of this year?
No,
For payroll. No, it's.
was it July?
Did we push it back a whole year?
No, we pushed it to the beginning. It's better to start on the beginning of the year because then you only have one W-2, but we'll have to process 2 W-2s in 26, the way
No matter
we're doing
what,
it, no
so.
matter what. Even if we push 1 quarter, so we might as well push it to 2 quarters and make sure everything is correct and that we can do the parallels properly.
Yeah, the
Especially
issue.
with new staff.
The issue is with Felicity leaving, we have Jamie to keep payroll going so people will still get paid, but Jamie she's not been involved with Tyler at all. So whoever we get into the position, or even if Jamie, we have nobody who has Tyler experience or information to be able to just take us from this point on. They're gonna have to learn a lot to catch up.
Is the reason why I feel like July 1st is a better goal for us to try to meet.
April 1st, I don't think is unreasonable. I just think that if we want to be comfortable and not set us up for failure, that we should probably set it to July 1st.
You can always do it earlier, right?
No.
If it's ready.
Well, I mean, if we got to January and everything was looking absolutely fabulous, then
Maybe.
we could, but I just don't know how easy of a transition that will be if we have new people and throwing them into, now they're gonna have to stop, do what they're
Yeah,
doing,
January
go into
1st.
Tyler, learn Tyler.
Yeah. The thing with starting early is it's not just our schedules, it's all the team and Holly's schedules because they plan well in
Yeah.
advance for having to come be here on site for that time frame and yeah.
There's just a lot of, I mean, as it worked out with us in the check number situation in April, our our John from Tyler, his mother fell and broke her hip and he wouldn't have been able to be here with us on Go Live. It would have been at the last minute. We wouldn't have had anybody here from Tyler on our Go Live. So I mean, it worked out for the best, but I just don't want to put us into a situation where everybody is just scrambling, trying to meet that deadline. I feel like if this would give us a good
Cushion.
to make sure we have it fully correct.
Got 5 minutes.
Any other questions?
I don't know, nothing.
All right, then we'll go into a brief recess until we're back for our juvenile court youth services update at 10:15 a.m. Good morning, it's 10:15 a.m. and we are here for a juvenile court youth services update with Swahel.
Good morning. Yes, we're gonna start with the financial piece. As you guys can tell, for the month of July, we got 21 juveniles with 204 days in Chelan, and that made our average daily population 6.58 with a total of 37,110. So looking back, I went back to July 2024 to see how, we're doing. We actually had 17 kids last July. with 153 care days. And, it kind of jumped a little bit higher for the juveniles that we have because we have some juveniles that have been there for a while since they have big charges. And as you can tell back in the intakes, you will see how many days have been with us. So that affects our total date of care. So even though it's only 4 difference, the total date of care jumped a little higher. So back then we paid 26,507, and the daily rate was 173.25 back then. So it's a little bit higher now, but that's a little bit of the comparison that I did. Right now, we actually have 8 juveniles. We had 4 on Friday, until Friday, and then the last 4 kids that I'm gonna present to you, they were done this weekend. I was actually surprised because I was anticipating a big of a jump for at least the fair, but we only have 1 juvenile. So this weekend, we actually have 4 kids. So the juvenile number 1 has been with us 710 days. That's the one of the big ones that it's been there for a while. He charges as charged with murder in the 2nd degree and assault in the 1st degree and drive-by shooting. Juvenile 2nd, he has been with us 153 days, and he's charged with murder in the 1st degree, 5 counts of assault in the 1st degree and drive-by shooting. And he's one of the kids that we're still trying to do a declination hearing to see if he's gonna be charged as an adult or as a juvenile. I think they have the next court hearing for him not until November. So a little bit, quite a while. Juvenile 3rd, assault in the 3rd degree. He has been with us for 82 days. And then also unlawful possession of a firearm. Juvenile 4 for warrants and whereabouts unknown, and has been in custody with us for 25 days. Juvenile 4 is actually also being held on warrant, on a bail, sorry. And this person is gonna be disposed today and sent to JR. So the juvenile 4 will be leaving us soon. Juvenile 5, 6, 7, and 8 were the intakes over the weekend. And so they don't have that many days with us. And as far as I know, our prosecutor was gonna be asking for bail for the 4 of them. So we will see what's gonna happen. But so in our intakes, as you guys can tell, in July, we actually have 20 total intakes. And in August, it's almost the end of August and we only have 8 juveniles, even counting the ones over the weekend. So, and for total, for the year, we actually have had 136 juveniles so far. So, and for you guys, as you guys can tell, for business after hours, most of them are after hours. 7 of the 8 have been after hours. Any questions so far? No? Okay. For the offender diversion unit, we have currently 187 cases, and 107 they fall under the diversion category. For the truancy, as you guys can tell, these were actually from last year, the last time that we had them. For this current next year, what's gonna happen is even though we might not be helping along through the truancy process, like I was telling you guys, the judges decided that they are not gonna have any court this next school year. So some of the petitions that were already set up for this year, we had to cancel them, and then we still have them open because it's by law that they are still able to file petitions. What's gonna happen is the schools might be filing petitions, but they're never gonna lift the state. That means that they will never go to court. But by law, they still have to file petitions. So we're still gonna see some of the numbers active petitions, and we're still gonna help them, get them filed and do everything, but they're not gonna go to court. And with the dependency unit, we have 189 active cases and 158 are assigned to staff and 66 are delegated to volunteers. So the volunteers are doing a really good job helping with our active cases. So with Chelan, I still do bi-weekly meetings with them to collaborate to make sure that things are taken care of. And I was gonna ask you in administration, I do have one request. I know I had it before, but I went back to 5/8. I am requesting to change my work schedule again to 4/10, beginning September 8, 2025. And since I was working the 5/8, all of my admin team was already in 4/10, and they were Fridays off. But since we're four of us, I'm proposing, the new change will be like one of us will always be available on Fridays, because we do have like 3 or 4 staff that work on Fridays. So we will always be available. So my Friday will always be the first Friday of each month. And that week I will be Thursdays off. If you guys are okay with that change. Like I said, I don't know if you guys need any additional information or if I should do anything else to finalize that. If you guys said it's okay for me to move forward with the 4/10.
I think as long as the office is open on the Friday.
Yes. Yes,
I don't have a problem with it.
and we are always open, 8 to 5. We don't close for lunch either, so, yes.
Swahil, the only thing that this triggers if we have a holiday, the employees only receive 8 hours, not 10 hours of holiday pay. So just so you're aware of it,
Yeah.
sometimes our employees, we would just kind of have them work 8 hours that week. And so it didn't mess things up, but just that's the only snag.
Oh, yes, thank you, Cindy. And since most of my staff are ready for 4/10, what they do is like either they work 2 extra hours or they put another 2 annually for that holiday, if it falls that way.
Okay, yeah, you've already covered it. Sometimes it's a big surprise to some of the employees that when they discover this. So
Yes, well, thank you,
you're
Cindy.
on it.
Yes, thank you. So are you guys okay with me moving forward in September 8?
Yes, I'm fine with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Rob?
Yep.
Okay.
Will you be switching back?
Huh?
Will you be switching back in the summer?
The reason why I did it is because my kids were still younger, so they were going to daycare. So for me to eliminate some of the daycare, I changed my work schedule to 5/8. But now my husband's work also it's changing, so I think
Okay.
I'm okay with 4/10.
Okay,
But yeah,
cool. Do you have anything else for your update?
no other like if you guys have any questions for
No
me.
questions for me, Kevin?
No.
Cindy? No questions?
No, I have no other questions. Thank you, Swahil.
Thank
You're the
you.
best.
Thank you.
We'll go into recess until 10:30. We're back with Renee. Good morning, it's 10:30 a.m. and we are here for a Renew update with Dell Anderson. Welcome, Dell.
Thank you. Good morning. How are y'all?
Marndell, good.
Good. Jake is having a nice weekend.
Yep.
Rob, are you hitting a bunch of fairs still?
Yep.
Great, staying busy.
Or maybe they're hitting me.
Yeah, probably. All right, so a couple of things I just have to discuss this morning. The first is an update on capital projects. I wanted to let you know the Grand Coulee office exterior paint has been contracted, colors chosen, and that should be completed either this week or next week. So just giving you an update on that one. The Quincy remodel, we held a mandatory bid walkthrough last Thursday. We had 20 entities come, so there's a lot of interest in that project. And the bid opening for that project will be on September 4th. The budgeted amount for that total project is $250,000. Then on August 28th, we have 2 bids opening. One is for the new roof for Moses Lake site, and then the Grand Coulee parking lot to have new asphalt. So those are just a couple of updates I have for you on the bids that are coming up and where we're at on some of our capital projects for the year. Then I wanted to provide an update on what Juan spoke about last week with you on the certified community behavioral health clinics. We have our application due to the state on September 26th. And as a part of that, we've run into a snag financially with our cost reporting and our financial audits for the county. For these certified behavioral health clinics, they require a accrual basis, and the county functions on a cash basis. So as we're looking back in time through 2024, we don't have a way to report the revenue and expenses based on an accrual system, but we do on a cash system. And same for the financial audit that the county receives. That is a full county audit, not just a individual department audit. And so Jenny's been working with Mandy on a couple of things to help us in the future as we move forward for creating an internal process for an accrual system if we are selected to be a certified behavioral health clinic. The state's only going to choose 10 in this first round of opportunity. And so we do have a way to do our finances on an accrual basis in the future, as well as receiving our own independent financial audit so we are able to report that. We did a call last week with the Washington Council for Behavioral Health to do a huddle to talk about how we can report 2024 on an accrual basis, since we don't have that available. And so we're going to have another call with the healthcare authority to help us work through some of the issues related to that so that we can have a workaround. But I just wanted to let you know where that is in process, and that Mandy's been great with us to offer some suggestions and opportunities for us to report this in a way that would be sufficient for this project and for the application process. And then moving into the future, how we can internally keep to our department an accrual basis system. So just some things we're looking forward to and trying to get that accomplished. Again, the state's only going to select 10 organizations this first go around. And if not selected, then the next year they would offer lots of support and resources to help organizations move forward in the process. But our goal is to put our best foot forward and complete the application process, move through this. And if not granted the opportunity this go around, we'll look forward for future opportunities. Then the last thing I've got for you this morning is just the consent agenda items. The first you're going to see come through is a third amendment with Seattle Children's Hospital. This is a contract that we have with Seattle Children's for a psychiatrist that comes or does virtual services for us 1 day a week. And so this is just extending that contract another year. So you'll see that one coming through. And then the other one you'll see coming through is an interlocal agreement for the provision of services between the city of Quincy and Grant County. This is the Quincy Partnership for Youth. So this is one of those coalitions that we're the fiscal agent for. So because we hold the finances for these coalitions, they still go through our county process to have the funds distributed to them. But our responsibility there is just to act as a fiscal agent. So that's why you're seeing this one $65,000 come through the board for consent. That was a lot to say in a couple of sentences. Do you guys have any questions for me this morning?
I don't have nothing this morning.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything, Dell.
Okay, that's all I've got for you.
All right. Cindy, any questions for Dell?
No, thank you, Dell. Appreciate
Yeah,
the
you
update.
bet. You guys have a great day and enjoy your week.
Thank you, Dell.
Thank you, Dell.
It's nice. Until 10:45, and we're back for a fairgrounds update. Good morning. It's 10:45 a.m. and we are here for a fairgrounds update. I don't know if we have Jim online with us. I see a Jim in the participants, but we have a guest Jim all the time. So Jim, if you could let the office know if you are online or not, so we could promote you. If not, we will wait until he arrives.
How many people are online today?
5. We will just wait offline.
Hello.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, there you are.
Hello, Jim. We announced, but you weren't online yet, so.
No, I was out picking up garbage. Uh, hey, hold on, Tyler.
Yeah, he's not leaving.
Okay. Um, let's see, a couple things. First one is, so we were down in attendance about 14% for fair overall, but the bad part was Tuesday and Wednesday were down significant, 28 and 29%, which nobody seems to attribute it to one specific thing, but it could be immigration. It could be people don't have as much money. I don't know.
Placer yet?
What's that?
Got your placer info yet?
Yeah, that's what I got it from.
Okay, but it doesn't have.
It has it has ethnicity, but the ethnicity percentages are almost identical to last year. So I kind of don't think it's immigration.
Probably money.
Let's see what else I have. So I'm wanting to turn in for a lighting grant for the back green gate fence line. It's a matching funds grant. The total for the total project is about 450, which would require us to budget capital of about 225, with 225 coming from the WSDA. I have to submit this probably before we have budgets in, and just wanted to know if I am good to submit that. Tom Gaines would be the person in charge of the project once it was approved by the state. It just depends on whether we get it or not. It kind of continues what we've been doing with lighting, and kind of the last real dark area of the fairgrounds is that back green gate fence line. And so I guess I'm looking for some kind of approval to go ahead and submit it. The county's cost on that would be approximately 225, which I assume would be a maximum amount. I know it's early and we haven't even started the REAP process or capital funds, but doesn't quite line up with when they want the submittal. Let's see what else. I did get one FAC application from a friend of all three of us. You will get that next week in BLC in the consent. We still have 2 open positions, and after this year's fair, I think it would be a good idea to go ahead and add those 2 just to try to get more people involved, especially from the volunteer side. And kind of kicking around at some point, just starting the discussion about possibly thinking about a managerial assistant in some position. I think that would be something to consider as I've got a few years left, but at some point, I think we'll want to start thinking about having somebody that can cross-train, at least to be somewhat capable of doing some of the things from a manager's perspective. Not this year, and maybe not in 2026, maybe 2028. We'll want to think about that. Just something to think about for now, as you're looking at people. And we're doing Flannel Fest planning. This week really kicks off getting everything detailed for Flannel Fest, which happens the first weekend in October. So that's about where we're at.
All right. Will you tell me again where that new lighting project would be?
Not by the green.
The back fence along the green gate behind the new stalls, an area that we took out the track. So it'd be 5 light towers along that back green gate parking lot fence. And we can talk about it more in our next update next week. I think I have until the 10th or so of September to submit the application. And I sent it to Tom this morning just so he's aware.
What do you think the cost is gonna be total?
450. The bid I got is 433, and then I always build in a slight contingency just because you never know what you're going to run into. So the quote that we got from Musco was $433,284. And so I figured 450 total with 225 coming from the county and 225 coming from the state WSDA.
Okay.
And it says currently that pricing is good through 228.26 on the quote that we got from Musco. And it's a KCDA quote, so we don't have to go to bid. It's a co-op approved supplier. Same one we've been using. And Tom's pretty good at it now. We've done a few projects. And that's all I got.
Sounds like you got busy next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, this weekend we've got PGW, the big barrel race, about 300 horses. Then next weekend is we have a CBBRC race on the 6th. And then we've got RV show, Arabians, a baptism, and then and CBBRC, and then we're still holding space for BLM crews for fire if necessary. Then we got NBHA finals, which is another big one. And then we're into veteran stand down, tractor pull, and then into cutting horse, flannel fest, and so on. I am staying back. I'm going to go to WSFA, but I'm going to stay back from Rocky Mountain Association Affairs. The other thing you're going to see on your consent tomorrow is authorization for either Ken or Lori and Zach and myself to go to dirt school, basically, again. Either Ken or Lori I'm going to send to the advanced. I really don't have budget to send them both at the same time, so we're going to do Rochambeau or something to try and figure out who gets to go this year and then who will go next year.
I see it's in Tennessee.
Yeah, it's in Nashville in January. I don't know, but it's the last class for me to get my certification. Zach hasn't been to dirt school yet, so it'll be him in the basic, and then Lori or Ken in the advanced class, which they have to approve. And so once you say yay or nay, then I can submit their 2 names for approval by the symposium to say, yeah, they can come to the advanced class. I think both of them will be fine, but. And that's it.
Sounds good.
I was Benton Franklin, I guess, Rob. Did you
I didn't go, but some of my friends told me they had their biggest days ever there on Friday.
Good.
Saturday.
I'll be anxious to hear from Lori on overall attendance. I did see that the state is considering a no ice intrusions into event and venues, which we're not seeing that in Grant County, but I guess some areas are seeing ice coming in and detaining people during events. So, yeah,
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it here at all, but I am going to try to get to Walla Walla this week just to see how things are going down there. And then the crew's going to go to Spokane to see how things are going at the Spokane Fair.
Nice.
That's all I got.
Sounds good, thank you.
Well, you
Thank
got
you.
nicest grass and the best lighting and
Safest fairgrounds.
yeah, I mean overall, Grant County Fairgrounds are pretty nice.
It was a good, you should add it was a good fair too, not just the grounds. It was a good fair.
It was a good fair.
Yeah.
Saying the grounds, if we're just looking at facilities.
Yeah, oh yeah. Facilities were definitely the best. There's no doubt. Yeah.
All right. Hearing nothing else, we'll take a quick recess until 11 a.m.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Good morning. It's 11 a.m. and we are here for a risk and safety coordinator update with Blair Koch.
Good morning. Just want to give you guys an update on some new claims that came in since last time we talked. On the 20th of this month, we had Public Works had one of their employees had their arm pinned against the wall by a fridge. No broken Public Works employee had their arm pinned at solid waste. Against the wall in a fridge. So they were moving fridges and it got pinned against the wall. Swelling, no broken bones. So learning experience, don't put your arm against a solid object and anything heavy. Also on the 20th, Sheriff's Office claim 1774. We closed with WCRG. That was that tort claim for the domestic violence for damages. They had never responded, so they closed it. However, if they do respond back, they can reopen it. But we'll leave it as is for now. Today I sent you guys emails of 2 tort claims from the Gorge for Sheriff's Office that came in, husband and wife. Turned it in, came in just by the hair of their teeth for the 3 years. Made it one by 5 days and one by 2 days. So we turned it into Clear Risk, working on it. So we'll go through the findings and let Clear Risk find out. But so far what I'm seeing is not a lot to it, but we'll let them go from there on that. We did have Clear Risk WCRG here this week, or last week, reviewed 3 of our locations with CBIZ, looking at how they review CBIZ reviews locations. Look forward to seeing those reports and how CBIZ does on those reviews. Also last week, I was a part of Clear Risk training day, which was on Thursday. They had 5 or 4 different trainings. So they had some really good trainings. So it was good to be there for that. Also wanted to give you an update. I did talk to Jim about the shirts. He is picking up the bill, so he did pay for that. So that's taken care of. And that is all I have at this time. Is there anything you guys need of me or need me to do? No.
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
We've already talked about everything.
Yeah.
Is there anything we missed?
Not that I can think of right now. So
How was the training?
it was good. The training by Wes Crago was really good. Jesus Villahermosa did a phenomenal training on trust your gut, situational awareness. Really looking forward to having Wes Crago come in and do that training that he did for the leadership here. You know, the public officials, the elected officials, department heads, and anyone that has like here that wants to be a leader. Talking about taking accountability and not letting people get away with stuff. Because if you let people go rogue, what can happen? So it was a really good one. So it'll be fun to have people go through it.
Cool.
Yep. So thank you guys.
All right, we'll go into recess until 11:15 when we're back with the treasurer's office. Good morning, it's 11:15 a.m. and we are here for a treasurer's office update with Treasurer Daryl Pheasant.
I got Well, we'll be having our finance committee meeting tomorrow to show you the numbers. The numbers are looking very good. So get to see them tomorrow. I found out that there was a meeting with Public Works in the past, possibly in May, discussing an event permit.
It was just
It's a form.
Right, and so actually, so I got to look at the form, found a few corrections. But yeah, the only thing is the $5,000 bond. That may be a struggle for some of these entities, but we need a process. We definitely need a process because we've had many things where we were scrambling to try to figure out what all the things we need to do. So we need to approve a process for a permit for something. I also saw that the Sand Dune people,
Yes.
they have a $17,000 purse. It was in their advertising. Where do they get this money? Are they?
Sponsorships.
Sponsorships.
So, okay. All right, yeah, because,
So how do they manage those ones out there? I mean, like Sand Scorpions does events out there, they bring a truck.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
yeah.
This is
So, and all the issues that they must be following, but in an unofficial capacity, but if they're following some things that you're wanting to be done, it's not fair for other events to not have this, follow the same rules.
Right.
And what you need to then put them in writing. And create this checklist for all the different entities, because we never know when we have a rodeo trying to happen on a ground of sagebrush that could create a major fire. And so the one thing I wasn't seeing on there was a fire district checkoff. Unless I missed it. So I think the fire district would be another entity that should be on this permit.
We chose not to move forward with that process right now, Daryl,
Mhm.
because that conversation was from over 2 years ago for the special event license, and then all of a sudden it was on consent agenda, and we hadn't talked about it in over 2 years. It was from the last time the rodeo took place out around Quincy. That was the last time we talked about it.
Okay, because Barbara has made it sound like something was presented, the language was presented this year.
It was.
Yeah.
And we didn't move forward with it because we have no enforcement.
So no other county has a permit? And
I would say, yeah, some do, some don't.
how do they address the enforcement side?
Well, that's the problem that we have is the enforcement side of it.
Mhm. Yeah, because I'd figure it'd be the sheriff's office to,
Which we're not over them.
so they were not interested in assisting?
Yeah, the last time it was brought up, they weren't going to enforce, not like events without a permit, they weren't gonna go shut them down.
Huh.
So then the idea of do you even have a permit kind of came up, and then conversation this couple weeks ago, a couple points I made were we have events, like event locations, what would you call that? Event barns, event venues that don't have permits that are operating. So before we're gonna start issuing temporary event permits, we should probably enforce, the permanent structures, and we're not doing that either, so it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay. Yeah, there was another section that had the auditor involved in something. And I didn't think they were be involved in that section. And I didn't understand what the administrative process regarding this bond, $5,000 bond was. What we would do. So I didn't know what county, I figured this was grabbed from another county, not sure what county this is grabbed
from?
No, I think they were just working on it at Public Works.
Okay. All right. We bought a couple more investments that you'll see tomorrow. Interest rates, they talk about a rate cut. Haven't seen it in the state pool rates. Been putting in a lot of data, but the data for tomorrow is probably going to be miss again all the July information from upstairs, unless they produce it this afternoon.
She said she was gonna try to have it out today.
Okay. All right. We're down to 13 parcels. Just now had another payment for a mobile home distraint sale on September 8th. We are hoping to be down to 10. So we're having a lot of success. We're going to be soon. Currently, we're practically done with the publication, ready to send it to the newspaper for the foreclosure sale in mid-November. We're going to do our posting a little earlier than normal. Normally, we wait a little bit and not have as many places to travel to. But since we saw such success on the mobile homes of getting people stirred up, we thought it'd be a better chance to get things stirred up now instead of later on the other properties with houses. We did get payment on the one house in Lakeview Golf Course. We did get the McKean's payment in a couple of weeks ago.
I figured they'd pay.
Yep. And boy, your name is on Facebook a lot lately. All these places for sale.
Oh, yeah, I got a few.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is they're not selling.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I had another TIF question posed. I've asked the other counties. First, I've sent an email asking all the counties that have TIFs. Then I called another county. I called Clark County to see there's another function each year of refund levies that's done. And now the question is does TIF, is that part of the equation too, where they can get monies, even though it doesn't make sense? So don't know if that anyone's ever posed that question. But trying to get answers. I got in depth with Chelan County what they got. And we're down to, they still didn't get, he thought he got all the data, but now he realizes he hasn't even got all the data from his assessor. Because I posed a question regarding when we disperse, and we don't even know what date we transfer the money to districts. But then no, in Walla Walla County sent me their information. It was totally not gonna be able to tell them how much to move. So we got 3 assessors who haven't done anything, and I'm the one with the least amount of information of the 3. So I can't even tell our districts the worst case scenario. And from the last week, nothing's no response. So so I'll probably have to send another email to Department of Revenue to ask this new question that probably no one ever pondered and get that addressed. I did bring up, I had a ledge meeting with the treasurer's ledge meeting on that committee I'm on. They're going to move forward with my legislation that affects refund petition and not paying interest on certain situations. Right now, it is a very time-intensive process. And some of it is because of the fault of the applicant, who still gets their tax back, but now gets the benefit of getting interest on top of it when they're the ones that made the mistake. So I was trying to change the law to
not have to pay and do the calculations and everything that affect all the taxing districts on some scenarios. But they're gonna move forward on it for next year. Also brought up, I'd sure love to have a statewide moratorium on TIFs, because we need to relook at that language and make some major changes. But it needs Commissioner Association power behind it to find a legislator to put it out. But also, we need to have just a meeting with our legislators to see what they know. What did they know? I don't know if you have any meetings scheduled with them for something else, but it'd sure be nice to see what their opinion is on what these TIFs actually do and see if they actually knew and agreed with this different diversion of monies from services. So we had a lot of people at the Maskers Gala.
Went good?
Yep. A lot of people had fun dressing up for that. And so we have our first practice tonight for me to see just how much my characters gets to go on the stage, being in the ensemble. So that's about it. That's all I have. Any questions from you?
Nothing from me. Anything, Kevin?
I can't think of anything right now.
Cindy, do you have any questions for Daryl?
Nope, I have no other questions. Thank you, Daryl, for the update.
Yeah, I'm also worried about Michelle with another person quitting.
Us too.
I've actually, sorry I skipped, I think it was the fairgrounds update. I was visiting with Michelle over some opportunities that we could work towards to help remedy the shortfall that we're going to have.
All right, we will go into recess until 11:30 when we're back with the assessor's office.
Come on.
Good morning, it's 11:31 a.m. and we are here for an assessor's office update with Melissa McKnight.
We're just trying to finish up revale so we can get change value notices out. We think they'll go out probably in November.
I just got mine from Stevens County last week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I did set up a meeting with Tom Gaines, so two of my appraisers can go up and
Oh yeah, look at
the jail, so we can get that started. It's gonna take about an hour of time for questions and stuff, but start getting that built out. Other than that, we're just keep on keeping on. Any questions or?
Sure, there's something I can't think of right now.
Is that how it always works? Don't worry, when I go back, I'll be like, oh, I should have asked him this.
Are you seeing values coming down?
Not really. Not a whole lot. We're seeing sales, less sales. We're seeing a lot less sales. Some of them are coming down, but for the most part, we just have a lot less sales.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of price reductions. I checked the hospital
Yeah.
this morning, and there's probably 30 price reductions. The market's definitely changing.
Well, yeah, it was kind of a little
high.
Yeah, a lot high. So
interest rates go down and
it'll probably pick right back up again because, I mean,
all the companies come into the
people,
area.
yeah.
Things will change again.
yeah. Right now I'm working on my advisory list for the state, and we'll be adding on a few of the industrials that have come in because they've hit that 25 million mark. So we hand them over. So right now we're trying to just finalize the list. So
How's staff doing? Got
Plugging
plenty of
away.
staff now, don't you?
yeah, we're training 3 people right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 2
Great.
front office staff and an appraiser in training. Appraiser's doing great. The girls are doing great too.
Front office staff that just does paperwork then? Is that what they do?
Yeah, they do. So I have one that does everything manufactured homes, and then they're cross training. So if one person's gone, they can still do everything else. So that's everything from current use applications, because I have another gal who does all the current use applications, and all of the ownership changes, and then throw in that if my senior exemption deputy is gone, there's a whole host of his duties too. So yeah, right now we're working on a huge mail return project that we have to go through every year. People move and don't tell us their new address. So we try to do that before we do change of value notices because it saves on postage.
Right.
So they're going through that. And learning all of the ins and outs of things. We did have a little oopsie last week with one of those leasehold Crescent Bar properties, but we're making that right. I'm working with Michelle on it. They did not know that when those are sold, they not only have to have the manufactured home property paperwork or legal description, but also the legal description of which park it's in on those. So I will be eating that re-record, but they now know.
Was it done by a title company?
No.
That makes sense.
We are putting up a sign up at the auditor's office explaining if they are there to record anything that has to do with ownership of real or personal property, to stop by the assessor's office first to avoid re-recording fees.
Do they not at the auditor's office remind people to do that?
No.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I don't manage that office.
I mean,
It's very easy to say, hey, have you been to the assessor's office and have they checked this? But I don't.
That should happen.
I agree. To me, that's just a customer service that we should. So
Not only that,
since they chose not to do that, I asked if they could put up a sign and then also put it on her webpage. And I'm going to put a little blurb on my webpage also about, things you need to know. You need to stop here first before you move on with any of the other paperwork. But yeah, it's not that hard.
Yeah, no.
And I'll probably reach out to the treasurer's office and put up a sign there also before things start. Try to start there. They are usually really good about saying, hey, have you been to the assessor's office? But a sign.
Maybe if there's a sign on their front desk.
Yeah.
That says,
check before you
yeah, 3 places
do
you
this
can go.
real estate tax affidavit, have you done these steps? So
Yeah.
if we do a checklist and we're, consistent, hopefully that will catch anybody just doing it on their own.
Right. Eliminates the problem.
Yeah. We try to be. So I am but one office.
I can appreciate that.
I worked with Decorah. Most of my staff has either completed or well on their way to complete the classes. now it's just admin that's struggling.
Got a few staff that are struggling as well. So I get it.
I'll be doing it on one of these weekends, probably, just to get it done. I'm worried about Matt. Matt's like, 8 more hours of work? It's like, I understand. Like, yeah, he had a conversation with HR about it. I might just, please, can we give him just a little extra time? But
Yeah, it's a lot.
it is. It is. What I did for my front office staff was I asked them to work out each of them like an hour a week and just kind of, go back and forth.
Right.
So they had coverage. And then my appraisers, I was like, get your new construction done first and then, just chunk it out each day, just do a little bit each day. So, and then admin, it was like, get it done when you can. We're all going, okay.
It's tough to get your own work done, let alone 8
Well, yeah, we have a couple people on vacation. So we're at admin, we step in and we cover that too. So I was working on a boundary line adjustment right before I came in here, so. But other than that, we just, we'll make it work. We always do.
all we can do.
Yep. So.
I got nothing.
Well, thank you, Missy. Appreciate the update.
No problem.
All right, we'll go into recess until 11:45 when the coroner comes in.
I anticipated.
Okay, it's 11:46 and we are here for a coroner's office update with Craig Morrison. Welcome in.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Tell
Yourself?
us all the good news.
Well, is there any good news that ever comes from the coroner's office? We're busy. I'll shoot you some numbers to give you kind of an update of where we're at. On today's date in 2024, we had 300 deaths that we investigated through the year. And this morning we investigated our 347th death for the year. So we're up 47 investigations. Last year we had 2 homicides, and this year we've got 6 already. 6 suicides so far, and a lot of drug overdoses. Our autopsies are up by 19, a lot this year compared to last year. So, and our criteria hasn't changed. The criteria of what we use, whether we're going to do an autopsy or not, hasn't changed. I think it's the methamphetamine and fentanyl use that's increased those numbers. I'm pretty sure. I think it can kind of be pointed at that. Other than that,
affecting all different walks of life too.
it is. Yeah, it is.
Doesn't matter, does it?
It does not matter. The homicides, you look at kind of gang related, a certain that kind of thing stays pretty much the same.
I just wondered with the fentanyl.
But the fentanyl, it's in every drug that people are buying illegally, and it's not good.
Which, the scary part I have for that with, our West Coast politics is it's in every drug you buy illegally.
Yep.
So how long until
The $64,000 question.
It's
right
more than
there.
that.
Yeah.
$1 trillion
Yeah,
question.
it's more than that, yeah. I'm dating myself, the $64,000 question. That's about it, report-wise. I've got more questions than answers on the morgue. How we're coming with that, I know we've got a.
Moving along.
Tom said he was gonna involve you in weekly meetings or every other week
Yeah,
meetings.
now that we've got
Yeah.
a contractor.
So it
and
should
all
start
that.
moving pretty good.
Yeah, the thing that makes me probably the most nervous is the in-between. What do we do from the end of the hospital to the beginning of the morgue? Where are we gonna go? How's that gonna be set up? Yeah, just the logistics of that. So that's about it for me.
That was painless.
Seemed like it. Seemed like it.
Yeah, hopefully we got a plan. I think he's got plans for a portable.
Yeah,
Hopefully that works out.
I'm hoping it does.
I don't see why it wouldn't, but.
Yeah, I'm hoping he does. So anyway, in the meantime, if there's something you need of me, call me.
Cool.
I seem to be available all the time.
All right, we will be going into recess now until 1 p.m. and we are back with position management.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's 1 p.m. and we are here for position management review. Do you have items for today?
We do. Dan has items today.
He's coming.
Dell will be joining.
I saw Dan, so he must have just like gone to the restroom or something, because he was down here. Or I guess your guys' office isn't that far from you.
Bill is online. I'm promoting him to a panelist right now.
Thank you, Nicole. I want to be a panelist.
She is online.
Can you hear me, Cindy?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, just checking.
Did the first one, Dan. This
Oh.
one I passed out.
Oh, okay.
Haven't done the rest.
I'll type up or pass out the accompanying board chart.
Do you want me to do the second?
Sure.
Second one?
Do you see what I got, Cindy?
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know where she's looking.
No, I cannot see what you have.
Aww.
Oh, your mug. Is that your Stanley?
Yes, isn't it pretty?
It is.
Thank you.
It's heavy. Oh, honey.
You can get a workout when you're drinking your water. You'll be
Yes.
building muscles.
Yes.
Okay, so we have two positions today on the proposed org chart. There, you'll notice that there are three that are highlighted, well, technically four, but three that are TBD where we don't have, or haven't posted it or filled it. So the two that we're talking about today, and then I'll turn it over to Dell so he can elaborate a little bit more on the positions, would be the Performance Excellence and Community Manager position. The one below that, the Community Relations Supervisor position, we're not discussing that one today. So it would just be the position above that, as well as the Quality Improvement Coordinator position. So, Dell, do you want to explain or go through?
Yes. Yes. So I was tasked a little over a year ago that if I was going to move through a training specifically to leadership and a management process through the Baldrige Institute, that how would we incorporate these things into the organization? And so this first position that I'm looking for is a performance excellence and communications manager. This is that driving force to really implement our strategy and our focus on our 10 initiatives that we're trying to accomplish as an organization. So this individual will be responsible for the measurement process for our strategic direction. They would be facilitating our senior leadership meetings, on a monthly basis where they would bring in the measurements that are due, whether it's a monthly, 90-day, 6-month, or annual measurement review. They collect the data and process all that for us to review and then begin some improvement initiatives for the organization. This position ultimately be also responsible for the community relations aspect of the job as well, and marketing and outreach programs as well. And so what you'll see as a part of the org chart is if there's an internal movement, if someone internally would like this position, we do have someone that's received the training and has that ability to grow if they would like to. If not, we still need this position. It'd be something we'd be recruiting for. And so this position would report specifically to me as executive director, but they would oversee a current team of individuals and provide that level of service. The funding that would support this position is under our 108 mental health funds. And this was budgeted in our position management budget, but it was under a director of was it performance excellence? So it was somewhere along there, and we decided not to have it as a director level, but we dropped it down to more of a high level manager that would report directly to me. And if there is internal movement that someone does want this internally and is going to apply for that, then that is where that question mark of the current position could potentially be changed to supervisor, but we're not here addressing that specific one. So if there's any questions on that specific position, I'd be willing to answer the things I can.
Were there comps done for that position for band 17? Where did that number come from?
So I didn't do specific comps for the position at band 17. What I was trying to do is create a high level management position. And other managers are, I believe, at 15, or they fall somewhere between 15 and 17. And so I was trying to show that this is in between that director stage and other managers.
I did look this morning too, Dale. All of your managers currently are at a 17 right now.
Okay, perfect.
For the ones that I looked at anyway.
Yep. That works.
And supervisors are 15.
Now, does the title have to be this title?
Is that Gina? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yes. Does this title have to be this title? Be flexible in the wording. The reason I ask is because GP has a specific job title limit. I think it's 40 characters.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I still can't hear Gina.
Yeah.
If Decor or Dan could repeat, that'd be great.
Can you hear me, Dale?
Yes. Yep.
The question was, do we have any flexibility on the title? And the reason for the question is that there's a limited amount of characters that GP can accommodate. So I don't know if we would either if we could change the title or perhaps abbreviate it so that it fits within that character.
Yeah, I'm open to suggestions on that.
Tyler, I'm sorry, Tyler.
You're fine.
Oh.
It was GP.
Oh, was it GP?
Tyler does allow for more characters.
Okay.
But we don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah, and abbreviate or hyphenated or the and gets cumbersome in any system when you have.
I'm open to recommendations for that. I'd be flexible. The next one is the quality improvement coordinator. This position would fall under the quality and compliance manager. The purpose of this one is we have used our compliance one individual to take on several tasks, including the connected care program, which we're running, which is our virtual services program. So this position would be responsible for all of our quality improvement processes. They would run client focus groups. They would take strategies from a quality basis and help us on a continuous improvement path. They would be responsible for an annual quality improvement plan And so again, this is really about the attention to the services and the quality of services that we want to provide to the community, as well as coordinating this plan, running the Connected Care program, facilitating that committee as the chair, and also being able to review satisfaction data that we are planning to run for those receiving services. So as clients come in, they're doing surveys to give us feedback. This position will be able to compile the results of those surveys and distribute that and help us analyze that data, as well as post-treatment surveys. So as people are exiting services up to 6 months after they've received services, are doing another follow-up. And so this is really to capture our quality improvement processes, and so the compliance position can focus specifically on the compliance standards and our state audit responsibilities. So yeah, if there's any specific questions on this position, the funding is also 108 mental health. And but yeah, if there's any questions that you have regarding it, I'd be willing to answer those as well.
Okay, any questions for Dell? Okay, Mandy, budget for either of those positions?
I don't have any concerns. I did want a clarification. When you said that the director position was in the budget, you just changed the name, or?
Yep.
Okay.
We changed the name and the salary range, because the salary range, I think, was budget is a band 23.
Was the position just performance excellence director, or?
Yep.
Okay.
It's in there, yeah.
So should be covered.
Yes.
Looks good. Both look.
Both of them are good?
Yes.
Commissioners?
I don't have any questions.
Any questions?
Yeah, I have no questions. Thank you, Dal.
Yep. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Ellie, I do have one more question before you go, though. How many more positions are you going to be bringing forward this year? As we're going through the compensation study, even if they're new positions, it is a little challenging because we have a number of positions that we've put forward, and every time we add one, the price is gonna go up. So do you anticipate more this year?
For crisis, because of their expanded program, I think there's at least 3 more that we still need to bring forward, but it could be 5. But I'm pretty sure that it's 3.
But those are current positions. They would just be new FTEs, correct?
Yes. Yeah. I don't have any other new positions that we're creating. Jenny's working on one for an accountant, which was basically the replacement for Raina's position. But that's the only other one I can think of.
Okay, thank
And that
you.
one, I think that we have that one too submitted, right? Because the accountant 12, it's a band 12 and a 13. We've sent that already over.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll double check, make sure they have it, but yeah.
Yeah, but there shouldn't be any more like created brand new positions.
Okay, thank you.
Specifically, just to make sure that, if I can, just to make sure that, so that they'll fully understands the question, but also for the commissioners too. She's specifically looking for like new positions in the context of positions we don't currently have in the system, which would be, so like if it's a new job title or something like that. And for the commissioners to consider, I am not, and I'm going to preface this by saying Dale gave me we talked about these a long time ago before the freeze on redoing classifications. But one thing to just be advised of, and to take into consideration that as soon as somebody hears, oh, we're freezing reclassifications, how you get around that is we'll just create a new title. And so just to be advised of that. And again, Dell and I talked about these a long time ago, but just to be aware of that.
Yeah, and I support the direction of the board on that as well. And I also understand with the salary survey that's being done that there wouldn't be any reclassifications up until that's completed. I support that direction. I'm not going to send any new things through.
Anything further? I think that concludes. Thank you, Del, for all the information.
Thank you all. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Nothing else?
That's it.
Thank you, Dale.
Cindy,
Well,
Kevin,
thank you, team.
is there anything you guys want to discuss during the work session period that we could just discuss right now? I think we kind of covered quite a bit earlier.
Well, since HR is here, I did want Caitlin to put it. I was just thinking it'd be on the commissioner's agenda, not the consent agenda. There was question about the retro pay for the Board of EEC. And then I'm looking at the WAC 415, 1110, 457. And the Washington State Constitution, Article 2, Section 25. Basically, it says retro pay to local government employees is generally prohibited unless we're in an existing agreement. That would be a like union negotiations and other things. And so if you want to do a little more research, but it says, because we did not grant extra compensation prior to taking action unless the board did, but it would be like collective bargaining agreement, some other stipulations, and I don't believe we did that. So I think that point to do the retro on Board of EEC, we probably should not do it.
What is the request? Who's requesting for the Board of EEC? I mean, I'm trying to get caught up here, so.
Barb had started tracking the hours because the Board of EEC, they made a decision within the Board of EEC to pay themselves 1 hour study time at home, but then realizing that they could not do that. So Barb continued to track their hours at home.
Okay.
They would just send it to them. And then we approved it last week up to 1 hour. But, and I asked Caitlin just to put it on the agenda so we could talk about it. Again, I didn't realize it was going to go on the consent agenda, but doing a little research, it just looks like because we were not negotiating that, or we probably should not do retro pay and just start last week.
And I apologize, Cindy, for the misunderstanding on my part. I totally misunderstood your email when you had asked about it being on your guys' agenda. I'm so sorry.
No worries. I just thought I'd bring it up now. And if it's differently than the information that I've been looking at, the Washington State Constitution, that Article 2, Section 25, or the WAC code, yeah, let me know. But it kind of looks like it would be considered gifting because we were not in an agreement prior to that. It was just kind of more something the Board of EEC thought that they could implement that and they could not. It was a vote from the county commissioners.
And I will research it, Cindy, but I do agree with you on that. But I will double check.
Yeah, I don't want to pay back pay. We wouldn't pay an employee back pay.
Yeah, we're not paying anybody else back pay, so why would we do that?
Well, I just wanted to make sure that no stone was left unturned. I just don't want any issues with this.
No, I appreciate that.
Yep, okay.
And I have nothing else for the meeting. That was the only thing. So thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, then we will go into recess for today. Thank you very much.